Pickle, hit the arrow center. It's time for Monday Morning Fallout. Monday Morning Fallout. Of course, when we overreact to the football weekend, and it was quite a weekend.
Chaos.
There is quite a weekend. We'll start with my 3 big thoughts. Thought number 1, we finally got to the fireworks factory.
We sure did. And it was
I like to,
awesome.
I dust this big thought off about once a year. Because what ends up happening is we have a number it seems like there's always one round. And honestly, it's usually either the area round or the regional semifinals. It's round 2 or round 3, where the whole Texas high school football world decides to go crazy. And it's not just, I'm not saying that there aren't upsets every week. Of course there are, right? We had huge upsets in round 1. We had big upsets last week in round 2, right? But the volume and the impact of the upsets that we had this week in the Texas high school football playoffs is quite simply unparalleled.
Oh, yeah.
It was nuts.
And it was all day nuts. Like, it wasn't like it all happened at once.
And that was part of the fun on Friday, is that because you had games kicking off, I believe the first playoff games kicked off around 1. And then they went all the way. There were games that kicked off 7:30, right? It seemed like every hour on the hour we were having big stunners, okay? The epicenter...
I was going to say the massive explosion.
The epicenter is in the 3A Division I bracket. One of them, I would say, we probably could see coming. Maybe. Or at least it's not that much of a surprise.
Right.
That would be what Malakoff did to Grandview. Malakoff finally got past Grandview on a late field goal to down the 2-time defending 3A Division I state champions, 24-21 in a fabulous game.
Oh, it was awesome.
Came through in a big way, and so Malakoff gets through. So they knock off what was the number 2 team in the final 3A Division I rankings, according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football. That was one we thought we saw coming.
Right.
The other one, I don't know...
was so far out in left field.
I don't know if anybody saw it coming. And that was Jim Ned's win over Brock. And that stuff was there, and he was giving us reports, and he came out pretty much the first quarter and said, dude, Jim Ned's kind of throttling Brock right now.
Yeah.
The number 1 team in 3A Division I, and I thought, my pick to win the state championship at 3A Division I, and I thought probably, I mean, I keep saying this, but I think it's true. I'll just say I thought they were the favorite to win 3A Division I.
Yeah.
Plain simple. I thought they were. 1916, Jim Ned on a late field goal beats him. So 3A Division I is now, I mean, I don't know.
Just
Who's the
open.
favorite? Is Malakoff the favorite? Is Jim Ned the favorite? Is the favorite coming from the other side of the bracket? Is the favorite? I mean, like, we haven't talked a ton about, we're going to talk with Lago Vista coach Creighton Phillips coming up. They got a big game this week against Atlanta. Why not them?
Columbus beat Yoakum.
Columbus beat Yoakum.
Which was big.
They get Hallettsville. Hallettsville's been unbelievable. They've got Jonathan Brooks cooking. 3A Division I got a huge facelift. But that was not the only chaos that went on. Caddo Mills beats Pleasant Grove.
Yeah.
So for the first time,
Foxes.
since 2016, Pleasant Grove won't be in the title game. Okay, they're out. Caddo Mills takes down Pleasant Grove. You also had Munster taking down Hamlin in 2A Division II, which I thought personally, this was me, I thought we were careening towards Martin versus Hamlin.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know Hamlin had a tough injury that went down, I think, in the first round of the playoffs, and that stinks. But give credit to Brady Carney and the Munster Hornets for pulling off an upset.
Yeah.
There were tons of these everywhere you looked.
The other thing is, too, I mean, even in the 6A realm, if we want to get out of playoffs for a second, Prosper and Allen came down to the wire.
Prosper very nearly beat Allen.
Like a minute and 3 seconds left or something like that.
Yeah, had the lead. It very nearly took down Allen at their own house. It was a wild week, and it was across the board everywhere you looked. There was just simply chaos across the Texas high school football landscape. And it was just one of those weeks that we kind of sniffed out early. It's like, ooh, this might be one of those times where everything's going crazy. That's thought number one. Thought number two, college football, your weekend woof.
Woof. It was like, talk about flipping a switch from the football Friday to college football Saturday. Yikes.
Let's just ask a question, okay? Who in the Texas college football ranks this weekend do you think played well? Okay? I think there's one answer.
One answer.
I think UTSA played well. UTSA played very well in their win over North Texas.
Yes.
Who else? There are teams that won.
Yeah, like Baylor had an exciting win, but
won.
It wasn't good football.
A&M won.
Yeah.
TCU won and ran away from Kansas. But I don't know if I would categorize any of those performances as good. I would categorize those as less bad than their opponent. Texas was ugly against Iowa State.
Oh, yeah.
SMU fell behind like 42-14 at halftime to East Carolina and ended up losing by 14. Texas Tech gave up half 100 to Oklahoma State.
Yep.
North Texas
looked worse than they've ever looked.
Got torched. Texas State came out in the first quarter and looked okay and then got blown away by Coastal Carolina. I don't know if that's necessarily a surprise. A&M was sloppy against LSU, at least offensively. And then Baylor, not good against Kansas State. That was horrific.
Yeah.
But they won. And then TCU is the weird one because TCU, they win by 36. They win by 36 over Kansas, and yet I watched that game and I'm like, they're not playing super well. I mean, that to me that says more about how bad Kansas is than it is necessarily against TCU.
And I think the most disappointing thing is it's not like people were like they had like a really good game and just fell on the short side of the stick. Like it was just gross from start to finish. I
think part of it was a little bit of weather. There was like some rain and stuff, whatever. That gives you a little bit of an excuse. But it was also just not a pleasant. It was not a particularly gratifying watch for Texas college football this weekend. And thought number three, a disparate week 15. Yeah. We're in a weird spot in the season, okay? So this is the final week of the 6A and 5A ranks. Let's take that, put that to the side, put it in the parking lot. We're going to put that in the parking lot. We're going to come back to that parking lot.
Where are we going back to?
We are in the regional finals of the playoffs in 4A and below. In fact, we're in the state semifinals of the 1A playoffs. Okay? We're going to punch our first 4 tickets to AT&T Stadium this weekend. Okay? Those games, I don't need to tell you that the regional finals in Texas high school football, I mean, I don't know if there's a game I'm not looking forward to. I think they're all great. They're all really good in their own way. There are some games that I think there are favorites. There are some games that I think that they may be clear favorites. But like I think all of them are going to be pretty good. Okay? Because we're at the regional finals. We're in the Elite 8 of these brackets. Okay? All those games are going to be great. On the 6A, 5A front, you have an extremely odd week because of 2020. A lot of teams built in week 11 bye weeks, specifically so that if they had an outbreak, they had some flexibility. But furthermore, if they were able to, they would like that week off, get as many games in as quickly as you can. That's what they did. They wanted to take week 11 off. Week 15, what is now. As a result, it's a huge bye week in the 6A and 5A ranks. There's something like 31% of the teams are not playing this week. And furthermore, a lot of these games are makeups, and there are some games that are super interesting, but also it's just a pretty overall thin slate in the 6A and 5A ranks. So you've got these two different worlds that Texas high school football exists in right now. You have banging playoff games, just unbelievable, fantastic, can't-miss playoff games. Going on with what is a pretty lackluster week in the big schools. So it's just going to be an odd week, and obviously next week is going to be crazy town banana pants because it's going to be the first round of the big school playoffs, going along with the semifinals of the small school playoffs. It's going to be crazy, But this week, it's just a little bit odd.
I do think, and I was going to say this, when I looked at the different views on the picks videos last week, the small school playoffs had a pretty significant amount more watches than 5 and 6A. And I just thought, like, there's a part of me that thinks that's a little bit cool just because usually it would not be that way. And the fact that people have, like, adjusted to, oh, hey, small school ball isn't bad either. Like that, I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. So go, y'all. Good job.
Those are my 3 big thoughts. 3 helmet stickers. A helmet sticker for China Spring quarterback Major Bowden. They can't be stopped right now, guys. China Springs on a heater. And Major Bowden was fantastic. 185 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground for the signal caller for the Cougars, who get a shot at number 1 this week. They get a shot at Carthage. UTSA running back Sincere McCormick. Easily the best player in the state this week. Easily. And he set a UTSA rushing record in their game. He was unstoppable against North Texas. And what I appreciated about him was that it wasn't just a couple of long runs. It was 4, 5, 6 yards at a clip as well. And he was just sensational. Sincere McCormick's, I mean, Isaiah Spiller's obviously been great for A&M. There's a couple of other running backs who have been very good. He has been no worse than the co-best running back in the state. He is outstanding. So, helmet sticker for UTSA running back Sincere McCormick, and a helmet sticker for the Euless Trinity offensive line. Euless Trinity played at Haltom on Friday. Yeah, Friday afternoon. It's like Friday morning. I think it was like 11 a.m. kick. And the offensive line ate against Haltom. They paved the way for 630 rushing yards in their 56-10 win over Haltom to clinch the District 3 6A title. So helmet sticker to the big Hog Mollies there at Euless Trinity. 3 teams to watch. The Beckville Bearcats are through to the regional final. A team that was 2-8 last year. A team that we had ranked 19th in their own region to start the year.
Yeah, they said, y'all are dumb.
is in the regional final. What a job by Cody Ross, the coach there at Beckville. UTEP, and not for a good reason. I think, so if you didn't hear, UTEP has paused their football activities. And they've already canceled their game this week against Southern Miss. I think there's a fair chance they're done.
Yeah, as their other game was supposed to be a makeup with North Texas, and I think I wonder
if Conference USA is just going to look at them and be like, you guys want to be done?
Yeah.
You guys want to be done? So keep an eye on that. We'll have, of course, whatever coverage we're going to have for UTEP on TexasFootball.com. But I think there is a pretty decent chance that they're just done. You have a face.
Huh? Oh, no, you're good.
You're making a face. And Lancaster. So Lancaster's an interesting team. This is a team that's, I believe, we'll get to the rankings here in a moment. They're ranked in
surprise.
In 5A Division 2. 5A Division 2? That sounds right. 5A Division 1. One of them, 5A. But they are in a district that they're just a lot better than. They're in a district with a ton of Dallas ISD teams that they're just a lot better than. They've been crushing people. Well, this week they finally they had a makeup game, or not a makeup game, but they were able to put together a game with Grapevine, pretty decent Grapevine team, and they hammered them 61-21. We were waiting for a team kind of in their weight class for them to take on, and they went through in a big way. So keep an eye on Lancaster. 3 to see.
Here we go. It's that week.
It's Shiner Refugio week. It's Shiner Refugio week. 1 o'clock Saturday at the Alamo Dome. 1 o'clock Friday. I'm sorry.
Friday.
1 o'clock Friday. So we're going to get off the air quick on Friday.
Yeah.
Because I am not hanging out with you fools when I could be watching Shiner Refugio.
Yes.
Love you.
Agree.
Houston and SMU. We're going to get to see that game. Who rules the roost in the American Athletic Conference? Can SMU bounce back after a super disappointing loss to East Carolina? We will find out as they take on Houston. And 7 o'clock Thursday at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Really interesting clash in styles. Eastland and Gunner in 3A Division 2. You've got the wide open spread there with Baron Morton and Eastland, who pulled out a really gutty win over Holiday, going up against the kind of pistol option attack from Gunner. I think this game's going to be fascinating. If you like different styles of offenses, this is the game for you. 7 o'clock Thursday at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Those are 3 to see. That's Monday Morning Fallout.